So lads, we're in a field of, just after leaving the field of winter oilseed rape, we're here in a field of Graham winter wheat. Luke, just give us a quick rundown on the management of it. What crop is it after? And take us up to where it is today.
Yeah, so this is a crop of Graham winter wheat going in after oilseed rape.
Yeah.
That tends to be for the farmer, that's where he slots his wheat in. It's always going in after oilseed rape.
Okay.
That's his preferred slot. In terms of weed control, it got a pre-emerge spray in the autumn time.
Yeah.
That done a pretty good job.
It's spotless actually.
Yeah, this crop was actually direct drilled. So the farmer was a bit concerned about grass weeds.
Okay.
So we decided to go with an application of Alistair in November.
Okay.
That did a very good job. So as you can see, weed control has done a good job.
And direct drilled after oilseed rape, do you find that to save on a cultivation or two?
Yeah. So oilseed rape is very good at kind of penetrating the ground, and it leaves it very friable for the following wheat crop. So you can see there, the soil it's in a very good state.
Yeah.
And conditions were very good. It was kind of late September, early October when this was sown.
Yeah.
So conditions were very good for direct drilling.
It's a really friable soil. Have you put organic manures on it ever much?
This field hasn't got organic manures in about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
But the farmer has a very good rotation.
Yeah.
We think that's probably contributing to the friable soil, and cover crops are being incorporated before spring crop. So
Okay. So just going on to the spring then, I mean, in terms of nitrogen, what would you bring this up to in terms of?
So this crop got its final top dressing about 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So it was brought up to 162 units of nitrogen. So that's kind of where we're at with this. The crop, as a variety, it's lush and green. It doesn't look wanting for any more nitrogen, so I think we'll probably leave it there.
Yeah. There's no trace elements, there's no issues like that out across it. It's almost at growth stage. It's at 37, heading for 39.
Yep.
Flyleaf will be fully out in a couple of days' time on the main stem. What's your fungicide program? It's after getting something already, is it? Or?
Yeah, so one of the good things about Graham, I find, it tends to stay very clean early on.
Okay.
So we decided to not put a T0 on.
Right.
So we came back then with our T1 on leaf 3.
Yeah.
And we went with Revistar Falpit based program.
Yeah.
And it did a very good job on it. So when the flag leaf comes out, we're probably talking 4 or 5 days away for T2.
Okay.
We'll probably go with Questar Proteb based program.
Yeah. And like we're just getting a small shower here now. I mean, Septoria is a concern always in Ireland with broken weather. With Graham, do you find it gives you a little bit of flexibility?
Definitely.
It still has a 6 for Septoria on the recommended list.
Yeah, and it gives that flexibility at the T1 timing as well.
Okay.
So you can tend to go a little bit earlier, a little bit later, and it is a bit forgiving with the Septoria resistance. You know, some other varieties that tend to break down.
What's the farmer hoping for in terms of yield? The money question.
Sure, look, any man's guess, but Graham looks very good around as a variety. So I think any farmer that gets below 4 tonne an acre will be very disappointed. So that's what we're aiming for.
So Clive, for Quinns customers and for other growers around the country, winter wheat's a big crop with high prices. It's the big banker crop for a lot of tillage farmers. In terms of the variety Graham, how's it performing for you inside in the mill, I suppose, and inside in your intakes?
Yeah, Graham is doing very, very well for us. For the last couple of years, it has been the top variety for the last couple of years. A lot of that is due to the fact that it has a very, very good disease profile.
Right.
In the last few years, we have started to have a little bit of issues with yellow rust coming into some varieties.
Yeah.
And where Graham can get a very small amount, it's not a huge problem in it, and it's very, very easy to control in it.
Okay.
Graham also, we find, is given very, very good yields. There are guys out there with a very good agronomy program getting quite high yields, up well north of 4 tonnes to the acre, if everything goes with them.
Okay. And in terms of grain quality then, from the mill point of view, for your feed customers, how does grain perform?
Grain performs very well. It's, with the right agronomy, you'll have no trouble getting the high KPHs into the very high 70s. Last harvest we had KPHs as high as 83.
Wow. So you'd hope for that again this year?
You'd hope for it every year, but it's very rare that 2 years are the same thing.
I know. And the fact that we're after oilseed rape, here in this crop. How important is that for wheat growing in general, Clive, for your customers?
It's very, very important because after an oilseed rape crop, you'll have that bounce from oilseed rape.
Right.
That will give you maybe anything from...
Is that why we've such a good crop here today?
Yep, it is, because it's from oilseed rape. That'll give you a bounce of anything between maybe a third to a half a tonne per acre.
Right.
Plus also the fact of coming with wheat after oilseed rape.
Yeah.
If you have a grass weed problem, which we all seem to be having now, you can address your grass weeds in the oilseed rape with one type of chemistry.
Yeah.
You then come into wheat and you can address the grass weeds with another type of chemistry.
Okay.
Which then means if you go into winter barley where you don't have as much, you have already had 2 very good years of control, so you can go forward. It makes your rotation easier.
Okay. So planning for a good crop of winter wheat starts with having a good break crop, and oilseed rape, in your opinion?
Oilseed rape, in my opinion, is probably one of the best break crops out there for coming in, because the crop is also harvested reasonably early. It means you can get in with a crop of winter wheat when you want to.
Okay.
Some other break crops tend to have a very late harvest,
Okay.
which makes it a little bit more awkward to get in with a crop of winter wheat.
And you touched on grassweed control, and I know there's a lot of good work being done in Teagasc on grassweed control. After the oilseed rape and before the wheat crop, do you do a stubble cultivation?
Ideally, after a crop of rape, you would try and get in and give the ground at least 1 or 2 cultivations to get anything that's going to germinate. Then either spray it off or plough it, or whichever way you decide to sow your wheat. And then after your wheat, if you can get another stale bed in, it's great, because it means you have a cleaner ground going into the crop of winter barley, which most guys are following winter wheat with winter barley nowadays.
So Clive, Luke, thanks very much. Let you get back to the jobs. Showers coming, we better get in out of the way.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tim.